Hey there, YouTube friends. maskedbandit here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I always do appreciate it. And welcome back to New Zoo to You, our Planet Zoo Beta Park Zoo. And we are building our third exhibit today. And this is actually a kind of a milestone for this project, because once you get 3 exhibits in, it seems that you can start being profitable as long as you're smart about what you're doing. And that's exactly what ends up happening for us with our grizzly bear and our sable antelope and then our family of wolves here. Things kind of take off in a positive direction, which is great. So what I ended up doing is, after I build this exhibit, I let the game just kind of sit there, and I crank the speed and I increase ticket prices, I think to about $25 for adults and $20 for kids, and they didn't complain at all. Lowered all my staff wages to keep them happy. And through donation bins, wherever I saw people congregating, put what are they called? The education panel things, because apparently when the people are more educated, they donate more. And those are all the things I did, and just let the money roll in. And I'm sitting on about $150,000 currently. So I tell you all that to tell you this: don't get excited, don't get too hooked on what you see in this video. Because the beginning of the next episode is going, we're going to Thanos it. We're going to Thanos it. But yeah, I watched John T do this, and I wanted to give my hand. I wanted to try it as well. I wanted to try an underground viewing area, and the terrain gonna terrain, just like in Planet Coaster. I mean, I'm really glad the terrain tools are back, and I'm glad that I've had 2 years to practice with them. I have some techniques up my sleeve, and if you are new to the Planet series, you might want to consider watching the tutorial I posted yesterday, all about simple building. I'm going to do a couple more tutorials for people who might be interested in that. I might do one about terrain, I might do one about paths, and definitely one about exhibits and things to keep in mind when making exhibits. So we got those coming up. And also, if you're enjoying the beta, or you want to join a community about Planet Zoo, want to hang out with some people who are into Planet Zoo, into the realistic aesthetic of Planet Zoo like I am, and you aren't yet a member of Bro Nation, you should consider it. It is a Discord server run by myself and my good buddy Mike Sheets, whom I mentioned in the tutorial. We built a park in Planet Coaster together called Planet Bro Coaster, and we have a really awesome community of people who are all fairly like-minded. We are all into the super realism, like I am. So if you aren't a member and you want some tips and tricks, and you want to see some amazing creations done by people who have been playing these kinds of games for a long time, jump on in and join us. We're a friendly lot, and we enjoy hanging out with people. So yeah, hop on to Discord and join Bro Nation for some good times. So yeah, I had a bit of a struggle here with this. This was way tougher than I thought it was going to be. I mean, we've never had something like this in Planet Coaster, as far as like having it interact with terrain in this capacity. I'm kind of terrified of doing semi-submerged exhibits. Like, that kind of scares me. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I want to do it. I want to try it, but I'm not quite sure how to even get it done. So ours does not look as nice as the one John T made. Ours is pretty rough and ready, but it's okay. I think it's fine. And the wolves were actually really happy in here. They were so happy. Notice I said were. They were so happy that they did end up mating. We had a couple litters, and then it was really cool because I could sell off some of them for leaves. Oh, precious, precious leaves. I kind of want to see if we can't get elephants by the time it's all said and done. I'd love to have an elephant enclosure. I think that'd be so cool. Or at least get some of the big ticket items, some elephants, some giraffes. But it all starts here with this exhibit, and it's killing me. This whole biome thing, I'm not a fan of it. The fact that I have to throw down so many chillers. If it's a major money suck. Like, if I had done painted dogs in this exhibit, man, I would have made so much more money so much faster. But I wanted to do wolves because I think they're cool. And this last summer, I went to Brookfield Zoo in Chicago, and they have an awesome wolf exhibit. And one thing I did notice is that it was really big. Like, they gave them a lot of room, and there was a lot of terrain variation in their habitat. And it was really crazy. I went there, and I actually couldn't even see the wolves. Like, it was nuts. I didn't even realize that they had that much room, but we sat there for a good few minutes, and I think I saw one sleeping on a rock, but there were like 5 or 6 in there. I couldn't see them, so it made me feel okay about the size of this enclosure. Like the one at Brookfield's very modern. It's within the last, I don't know, handful of years they've built that exhibit. It's super cool though. We don't have anything like that here in Houston. To be fair, we don't have wolves here in Houston. Maybe it is because it's too hot. I don't know. But we have snow leopards. So, so trying out the null barriers here and really getting to work with some terrain. Man, wolves can climb. Let me tell you what. They ended up on top of that cave a couple times, so I had to tweak the terrain to get them to stay the hell in there. And I also use some we're having some water issues here. Yeah, our water. I tried to cheat the system. It's smart. I tried to just delete the water and replace it, and it did not gonna let you. So you can see we have a much shallower pond now. But anyway, I also was able to use some scenery atoms, some wall pieces, and I built a custom wall barrier along the path there for the wolves, and it worked. It worked really well. So that's super exciting that you aren't necessarily limited to the in-game barriers. You can make an all null barrier and then just dress it up with your own scenery, terrain, whatever. That's super neat. I really like that. So here you go. You can see there's all that access, and they still somehow find their way up there. One of the things that's important to note is if you're building with null exhibits, null fences, make sure that the fences are beyond where the animals can go. That sounds like a duh, but like I didn't. And so every couple minutes, I got a dangerous animal escape warning, and all the people would start running away. You can see right there that the exhibit actually goes beyond the walls a little bit. So I actually had to fiddle with that and get the exhibit back inside the terrain and back inside the in-game walls there to get it to stop giving me those notifications. So, but I thought that's an interesting little tweak. So little things here and there that you're gonna need to learn about, as we go through this. So it's fun though. It's fun to learn these little things, and then you know them for next time. Using some of the logs here to create a log wall, and maybe I'm going to include this in one of my I'd like to include something like some tutorials, like how to make these little things not look so repetitive. Like right now that looks ugly because they aren't rotated at all. They're all the same exact height, and it's little details like that that really separate the quality of projects. So I'd like to show a bit of how to do that. So yeah, see, like here you can see technically they can escape, quote unquote, their enclosure, but they can't get out of the area they're in. So decided that it felt a little, the terrain paint on this kills me. The fact it has to be so much dirt. Obviously we're in the wrong biome. If we were in a North American biome or even an English biome, I'm sure the ground textures would lend themselves to it looking a little more natural to have wolves in there. But, it is what it is, and I wanted to play with them, so I did it. And I said, screw it, we're going to have too much grass in the enclosure anyway. And I kind of said I don't care about the welfare in that regard. We'll keep it at 80-something%, and the wolves will be fine. And they were. You can see he's climbing up there. I think that's so fun. Just to watch where they go and what they do. Tell you what, baby wolves, little baby wolf puppies, they're super duper cute. So the terrain here is a bit of a pain. The thing, again, with the null fences is I kind of wasn't paying attention to how much of the terrain was actually in the exhibit. And so I couldn't find all that long grass. It took me a while to find it. So, but now you can see I jumped into the Zoopedia there and realized that, yeah, it's a little too warm for these guys. We're in a pretty hot map. I gotta check the settings to see if I can go ahead and put the temperature into Fahrenheit, because I just do not understand Celsius. Like, I get the general idea of it, but I don't know. I have to think too hard to know how hot it is. But thank God for those heat maps, literally heat maps. We had to spam a whole bunch of the chillers under the ground to get the terrain, to get the habitat cool enough for these little guys. But it all worked out in the end. And so you can see we're finishing up the terrain here. I add a little pond because it just felt like there was too much room for them to run around, and I wanted to give them a place to splash around in. It is really fun to watch them swim around. It's pretty fun. And I wanted to also block the view of the people, because I wanted them to come up onto that area and take a look. But that didn't work. Even when I put foliage in, they still like pointed through the foliage and congregated. Oh, look at the wolves, even though they clearly couldn't see them because I made a whole bunch of bushes really tall. So, but what are you going to do? So I am going to say we don't have a lot of cinematics because I usually record those after I do the building, and I totally blew up the zoo. So I don't have anything to show you. I have a very short cinematic of a wolf. And so this is going to be the end of the episode here with just a brief cinematic at the very end. So if you liked what you saw, hit the like button. If you're new, you're just finding me, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any more Planet Zoo or Planet Coaster or any of the good stuff coming on the channel. And so with all that being said, have yourself a great day, great night, great whatever. And I will see all of you for the very next episode of Planet Zoo. Take care, everyone. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.